perfect time. Congratulations on the victory. Would you like to start with an opener this evening?
I don't think so, Alex. Nice to hear your voice, though.
Likewise. Okay, we'll get straight to questions in the room. Jeremiah, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, big win. What does that do sort of for the confidence of this team to go to go to Vancouver and just be able to get a win like this when you need it?
We've had good results up here in years past, so the team's confident. It's been confident for a while. Vancouver, look, they've had a tough stretch. Ryan Gauld wasn't playing. That doesn't take away from the 3 goals and the performance, the shutout, Georgie's first goal, some of the good things that we did. But they're still a good team. And, the way our team is playing, uh, they've been doing it since we were 1 win in 9 games since that Philly game. I mean, we've been on a pretty good tear.
Georgie and Paul have kind of taken this rise together. They talked about that quite a lot. I guess they're pretty good friends off the field. What are you seeing from them specifically, and did this feel like even kind of leveling up for them in this game?
Well, I see what you guys see. I mean, you see a couple of kids, or not kids anymore, but young men that have bright futures, and the stories that they are telling, the stories that they're adding to the Sounders' history are great stories. I mean, Paul, the local kid who, might have been on his way out until he figured out, I better do something or my career might be short. And now he's one of our most influential players. I mean, that in itself shows me that he's smart enough to take a look at the big picture and understand and actually have a plan and execute a plan for him to become a good pro. And the way he's playing now, he's got an excellent future. Georgie is a kid, that grew up in a environment that we can't even imagine, who's had to work all his life. He gets an opportunity, even though it might have been a little bit later than some people might have thought. But you know what? He's making the most of his opportunity now. And he's such a nice young kid. I got a lot of time for him. And they're 2 great stories.
So a big Cascadia win. There's going to be one more. It's been a couple years since the Cascadia Cup has returned to Seattle. So
yeah,
what will that mean to you personally?
Well, we had 3 in a row back there, 18, 19, 20. Was it 17, 18, 19? 18, 19, 20, I think it was. Our crack staff, or 21, because we took a year off.
Yes.
So, they gave me that information because it's a influential trophy amongst the 3 teams. Some of the people across the country might not say, okay, whatever. But for us, it's a large part of our history. And for us to still be in it, because we did last couple of years, we haven't done one. We haven't. But, this year we've got a chance.
3-0 scoreline makes it look sort of like a comfortable victory. But if you go back to 2 plays, you're up 1-0, knew who clears that ball off the line. A couple minutes later, Paul draws the penalty. Just how big of a momentum swing was that, and how important was that to sort of sending a message of it being an all, whole team win?
Pico and White caused us some problems early. Then I thought they ran out of steam a little bit when we were able to finally break their press and get beyond them. Some of the defending, I think we were pretty good. I'll have to watch the tape specifically, but I thought we were pretty good. They like to cross the ball, and obviously Brian White's good in the air, Picol's good in the air. They caused us some difficulties when they were crossing from out here. It's kind of chaos sometimes. Nuhu thrives on chaos. He loves it. So, that kind of stuff is normal for him. I know Steph, I could see his body language. He was frustrated a couple times, but, they persevered. And again, it comes down to making plays. Our team made the right plays in the right moments. And, sometimes it's the timeliness of your goals. rather than the amount. I mean, the penalty kick certainly put the game out of reach.
We've talked about this a few times, but Albert's now on 9 goals, 15 assists. I guess it's a career high for him on assists. I don't know if it's a total goal contribution for him or not, but just can you speak to his how steady he's been for you this year?
Well, he's been steady. He's always been a tremendous player. I think this year he's taken a little bit more responsibility. So on the set piece goal, that's credit to Andy and Rodrigo again. They do a good job of, scouting things and making sure the guys understand their roles and responsibilities. But it's the service that Albert gives, Jordan's ability to elevate and get his head on the ball. It's an outswinger, so there's first contact. And Georgie understands his role, gets to the back post, and that starts us off. Albert, I don't know how many assists have come from set pieces, but I'm sure there's been quite a few.
And Jordan gets a couple assists today. I would imagine he would have liked to have gotten a goal or two as well, but
just before I took him off, he had that breakaway. I wanted him to score so bad, and then we could have taken him off, and he wouldn't have been as grumpy. But we needed to rest some, just give some minutes away from. He's got to play again.
Alex, all you.
All right, thanks, Kev. Hey, Jada, we're going to go to you next. Thanks for waiting patiently.
Thank you. Congratulations, Brian, on the win. I wanted to see if you could tell me, like, when you definitely felt comfortable or with Paul in that starting lineup. It seems that he's won that position, whether, it seemed like it was health reasons that he got in there, but then he seems like he has won that position. Is that true? And when do you kind of feel like you just really could not?
Well, I can answer it this way. His opportunity came in that game against Minnesota when Alex got the concussion. And there was a moment in time where we said, okay, we can do something else. But we said, Paul's been training hard. Let's give the kid a shot. Let's give the young man a chance. And from that moment on, he was able to take that opportunity and do good things with it. Now, I can't give you a specific time as to when I penciled him in as an everyday starter. I'm not so sure I'm going to do it even now.
Oh.
But certainly he's forcing my hand. I don't think it would be wise of me to not start him. And I think some people would think I'm nuts. But, there's got to be competition amongst the group for us to raise the, training level, keep guys sharp, because I believe that this team can, get into the playoffs. And once we're in the playoffs, I think this team's capable of doing some good things.
Yeah, again, kind of building a little bit on that, I have 2 more. If you, because of the fact that you only have the 2 remaining games and then it's the playoffs, so you're saying that this is not what you envision the starting lineup looking like in the playoffs?
I don't think I said that, Jada. I think you're maybe trying to find a story somewhere. What I'm saying, Paul has been great, but I need to make sure that everybody, still worries about someone replacing them. I think that's what we're trying to achieve at the club. I think it's a nuance that has happened over the last 2 years, that we've kind of shifted away from having 11 TAM players on the field in 2022 when we won Champions League.
Okay.
Now the team is more balanced. There's young guys, there's some old guys, there's senior players, there's young players. They're all fighting for playing time. And that's the way I like it.
And then the last thing is just your, for you personally, like the loss against Vancouver, that was a low moment. And you even a little bit talked about that as far as that match. And it seems like there's a little less talk about you being on the hot seat or anything like that. I mean, you guys are on a really good run right now. So I wanted to see if that's the little bit more comfortable right now, considering the run.
Jada, I told you the other day at training, I think things will take care of themselves in good time. Let's just keep the focus on the team. The guys have been playing really well. The story is the Sounders since the end of the Leagues Cup break, I think we've had the most points. I think I could probably get the stats even earlier that we've been the hottest, if not one of the hottest teams in MLS. And that's a good way to get into the playoffs.
Last 15 matches, most points in the league.
Last 15 matches, most points in the league.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Kevin.
you are in the playoffs too. So
Yes, thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Nico Moreno, over to you.
Hey there, Brian. Glad to see you this happy after a big win. I wanted to kind of go off some of the things that Jada was kind of talking about. Um, this team took a lot of heat because they didn't go out there and get, a DP or maybe do more in the window. But the resilience of having a guy like Paul, and now a guy that takes on defenders the way Georgie does, it kind of provides you with more tools. How important is both of their revelations this season to the turnaround that the team has had over the expand of wins that you've had recently?
Well, look, there are fans, and rightly so. I mean, fans have the right to express their opinions, that have been disappointed with the club, and we didn't make any big signings, but we made signings. And Pedro de la Vega is now rounding into form, and he's playing better. So you sign Georgie, you get De La Vega to start playing because his health is better. Those are two pretty impactful players. So, Paul was the outlier. I mean, we didn't see that one coming. We didn't sign him mid-season. So that one is, certainly the outlier. But at the end of the day, Nico, Craig and I always thought that this team was a good team. We always thought we had the right pieces. Would I have liked to have two more pieces? For sure. But I think we've always been a pretty prudent club. We're not going to spend money just to spend money. I don't think that's a proper course of action. I think you have to spend money in this league to win. Don't get me wrong. Don't twist my words. But at the end of the day, the teams that spend their money wisely, those are the ones that usually make it out on top.
And lastly, just real quick, a lot of these same players haven't been rotated a lot of minutes. Clearly, that has come about into wins. It has resulted into wins. But are you concerned at all about the end of the season and kind of what's ahead and how much minutes all these players have had to play?
Well, if you looked at the calendar, you would see that after this game, we have a week off before Portland. And then you have a best-of-3 series, and then you have a November FIFA window. And so the team that's playing extended minutes is going to have plenty of opportunity to rest. So we're going to go into Colorado and, make sure we don't put anybody at injury risk and put a strong team out there. And then we'll play out the rest of the season as we see fit.
Thank you.
All right, Kev, back to you in the room.
Just want to talk about one of the defensive moments of the game where Fry got beat with the ball and then it involved a goal line clearance. Just the instinct for the defenders to pack the goal so they can make their goal line clearance. Just want to get your thoughts on that play.
If it's the same one or New who clears it off the line, I mean, it was a good play, but again, New who does that. He's done that many, many times. The commitment to defend from Jordan and Albert all the way through the team is what makes us a good defensive team. I think the last couple of seasons we've been tops in a lot of different departments. So it's, again, credit to, the guys. They understand what it takes to win games, especially on the road.
Georgie mentioned his dad dying a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I have to imagine that was a pretty emotional event for him. And if you could just speak to the way the team has, responded to that and sort of rallied around him, as presumably.
I'm going to keep a lot of those conversations private. I'm glad he did share that information. He didn't have the option because he wanted to, make sure he made the most of his opportunities, and I commend the kid for that. But it was a tough emotional moment. But he has risen to the occasion. The players have supported him. The club has supported him. And, when he does finally go back and make peace, then, he'll be back even stronger.